morning. It's really, really a great pleasure to be amongst you people. The Yukoners, somebody said the Yukoners, and I just love it. So before I continue to kind of give you background about FACE and what we do and our funding program and opportunities that are available for you, I'd like to also give the floor to the president of Pan-African Yukon or the leadership, to just kind of bring us into the momentum of this event and the reason why we're here. I've already said it's because of the information session and the opportunity that is available, but would love to hear with our partner, Jude, and leadership of Pan-African. Oh, sorry, okay, it's okay. And the leadership of Pan-African um, organization. So Jude, you have the floor.
Right. Good morning, everyone. And I honestly thank you all for making it to this meeting this morning. This is actually the first of such a meeting we're having with this coalition group. And I think it's a promise of many good things to come in the future. We want to re-strategize. We want to, establish our presence here, entrepreneur-wise and in every other way. So, and that's why I want to encourage us to let this be a very good starting point moving forward as a prelude to greater collaboration in the future. We have a lot to benefit from this meeting going forward, and I urge everyone who has, something good to achieve to always key into this program, and as time goes on, we'll begin to really reap the benefits. I think that's all I have to say for now. I'll leave the rest to Susan to facilitate. Thank you.
But I just wanted you to kind of, hear another entrepreneur, one of the numerous entrepreneurs who've gotten funded by FACE, just to hear about her story. But that's not an issue. What I can surely do is to drop our socials, and you can even go to our YouTube page. Roshan is just one amongst so many funded by FACE clients that have given us the opportunities to hear their story. They have shared their stories with us. So you can go online and watch so many of these testimonials. Okay, so we are FACE. And FACE stands for Federation of African Canadian Economics. We're a national bilingual Black-led non-for-profit organization, and we were launched in May 2021. And we're focused on providing resources and information to Black community across Canada. If you're just joining us, welcome. And you can introduce yourself in the chat after we're done with the presentation. Like I said, we're Federation of African Canadian Economics. We were launched in May 2021, and we aim to accelerate wealth creation for Canadians of African descent. So FACE manages the 160 million Black Entrepreneurship Loan Fund, component of the Black Entrepreneurship Program. So at this time, we provide loans to businesses ranging from $10,000 to $250,000.
Susan, if I may, my apologies. It seems that there are some people who are waiting in the waiting room. I'm not too sure them.
So are they still waiting, like they're in the waiting room waiting for us? Is that what you're saying?
I saw a notification that said that there are some individuals who are waiting in the waiting room, but if not, please disregard my comment and continue.
Oh, okay. Because immediately I see the notification, I just admit them instantly.
Okay, perfect. Not a problem. Sorry about that.
All right, no worries. Thank you so much for letting me know. Okay. Okay, guys, sorry. My computer is crazy. I think it's the code. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm just gonna start over and read here. My apologies for that. Okay. Can you still see my screen? Okay, we're good now. Yay. All right. So what type of businesses do we fund as FACE? So we have two categories. We have startup and we have existing business. So startup for us means a business that has been existing or operating for at least 3 months and has less than 12 months of consecutive sales revenue. And startup businesses can qualify for up to 50,000 in loans. And as an existing business, we define an existing business as a business that has been in operations for more than 18 months and is able to provide a historic financial statement. So existing business can qualify up to $250,000 in loans, and a startup business can qualify up to $50,000. So what I need you to get here is the fact that once you have a business and the business is existing for over 3 months, you're qualified for funding. Now, what is eligible for a FACE loan? Capital expenditure for the purchase of vehicle, machinery, business equipment, and more of that. And leasehold improvements, let's say you're outfitting, renovation, you're trying to expand, and also for upkeep. Working capital as well. You need more inventory, accounts receivables, salaries, overheads, and more of that. We definitely fund those categories, or those are the things that are eligible for a FACE loan. Now, these are the things that we do not fund at this time, but are not limited to goodwill, shareholder loan repayment or issuance, dividends payout, restructuring bad debt. If you already have an existing bad debt, we cannot fund your restructuring of that bad debt. And if you're trying to pay out bonuses, for your shareholders or for those that are involved in your business, we do not fund that as well. Now, what are the documentation and what is the eligibility here? Now, you have to be a minimum permanent resident of Canada. You have to self-identify as Black, be at least the age of majority, and your business needs to be registered, obviously, as either sole trader, corporations, or partnerships. Be 51% Black owned with voting rights, which favor a Black majority of no less than 51%. So let's say you have this business with other race, maybe with other people. The majority of that business should be 51% voting right, Black person. Be a for-profit entity. We do not fund non-for-profit because this is one of the questions that I get asked most of the time. And these are the essential mandatory documents that you need. You need a business plan. You need financial statement. You need up-to-date tax returns and personal statements of affairs, which is also known as PSOA. And just in case somebody is asking, what does this mean? It's just literally a detailed information about your own personal financial situation, your personal statements of all financial situations inclusive. So that's what PSOA means. And at the end of this presentation, I'll also be providing information about how you can get you can put your business plan together, like templates or links or direction of, links that you can go to that can help you in putting your business plan together in terms of the template for that. Now, let's talk about the loan application process. So loan term at this time is interest, our interest rate, is floating base rate plus a spread. So floating base rate is also called prime. Some of you might be familiar with that. It's usually really fluctuating. The last time I checked, there were times that it was around 6.25 and another time it was 4.5 or something. I stand to be corrected. But if you check online right now, you're going to see the floating base rate, also called prime, plus a spread. And then average loan repayment period is up to 60 months, which is like up to 5 years, with consideration for a principal moratorium. So principal moratorium means perhaps for like a year, you pay only the interest portion, and then as time goes by, you start paying both the principal and the interest. But this is being considered by our processed by the loan analyst, and it's not for everyone, just to make it clear. Equity investment, owners expected to have invested a stake in their business. Startups, at least 25% owners investment. So if you're a startup and your business is around 3 months and you want a loan from us or you want a funding, you need to have invested at least 25% of, like you need to have invested at least 25% in owner's investment. Now, how do you apply for a loan? You need to register on our platform, which is this address right here. I'm also going to be sharing that link through the chat. Complete the application process by answering the mandatory questions and provide the required documents as covered in this workshop. Ensure to click on the submit button and receive a confirmation of submission. I really want to emphasize on this because I've had a lot of entrepreneurs apply and they do not get confirmation. They do not, because they didn't click submit. So if you do not click submit, that means you haven't applied for loan. So some people will say, oh, I applied for the loan, but without the submission button, that means you haven't applied yet. And the reason is because when you're answering some of these questions, some people don't have all of the required documentation at the moment to put them in. So they leave it and go and find those documentations. That's the reason why before you apply, I advise that you have the documentations that I mentioned, your business registration, your financial document, and every other necessary documents that you have with your business. Make sure they're available when you're applying so that it's quite easier to go through this mandatory questions and you can easily click submit. But just in case you do not have all of the things that are required when you're applying, make sure that you click the submit button at the end of the day and receive a confirmation. So the confirmation actually tells you that you've already applied. And for application inquiries, please feel free to reach out to our support team. They're really, really, really efficient at this number. And I'm also going to be putting that contact in our chat. After the application, applicants will be contacted within 1 business day after submitting an application. Now, let's talk about the required documentation business plan. Important things we look for. For the benefit of this workshop, I want to also urge you, now that we have AI, someone can just go right in ChatGPT or any of the AI, and say, hey, give me a business plan and you have it. I want to advise that it's important that you know this requirements of the business plan and be a part of it, making sure that you understand every details in your business plan, because it also helps you to answer some questions that you might not have thought about during your ideation process. So the primary business objective, why are you doing this business? Product, service, and your target market. Competitive landscape is so important. I tell entrepreneurs, it's one thing to have passion. It's another thing to be able to think about the conceptualization of your business and your objective, the reason why you want to do business, to know your target market, to know your product and your service so well, and even who your competitors are. Business details, your registration date, milestone, and your own background and your story, which we also call owner's background. Marketing and sales strategy. This is so important because at the end of the day, passion is important, but without strategy, passion might not be able to give you the money to run your business. So you have to also, that's the reason why I'm saying, do not just give your business plan to the AI, but make sure that you are indeed strategizing how your marketing and sales would be like. And then the financial highlight, loan request purpose, your owner contribution. Remember, I spoke about equity investment of at least 25% previously, and your project breakdown. And also, this is my favorite part, your financial projections, 2 to 3 years, income statement, cash flow, and balance sheet. Now, for this aspect about the financial projection, we're in the technology phase. You can even break down to AI, what is income statement? What are the necessities for an income statement? What is cash flow, the cash inflow and outflow of the business? What is balance sheet? And By the time you have a breakdown of that, you understand what you are supposed to be providing and you understand what the future would look like for your business. If you pay attention to this, I can assure you that you know what you're about to do, aside from the fact that you have an idea. And if you need further information about business plan, we had an event previously, is on YouTube. It's called implementation, right? Ideation to implementation. So you can watch that video because this is really, really important. It's not just about providing documentation, but also making sure that you understand what you're doing. And I'm going to be talking about our knowledge hub at the end of this presentation for other resources that are available for you to watch those videos and understand what you ought to do in terms of putting, not just putting business plan into documentation, but understanding your business plan. Now, also financial statement. Remember, I spoke about the 2-3 years historical financial statements or projected financial statement. So the historical ones, it depends. If you're a startup, obviously you maybe might not having a lot of, financial history, but also the projection will also help funders to know where your business is going and what's going to be happening financially to the business within the next 2-3 years. The historical aspect is also very important for an existing business that has been in business for over 12 months. We need the both of them, and you also need them as well. A balance sheet is just to determine the financial position. And for the benefits of this presentation, obviously, some of us know balance sheet is just obviously indicating every financial actions that you're taking on a daily basis. It depends on the operation scope of your business. And an income statement actually helps us to analyze revenue trend, profit margin, and the company's sustainable cash flow. Like I told you from the beginning, if you put yourself in this required documentation. If you do not see this just, oh, this process is, they're requesting a lot of document. If you see this as something that is really necessary for you to even have a lot of knowledge about, it's going to even help your business at the long run. And the cash flow statement, which I personally think is so important, provides a detailed breakdown of a company's cash inflows and outflows over a specific period. One thing I've seen with a lot of entrepreneurs is the fact that we do not really detail the cash inflows and outflows of the business because as a startup, you're doing everything by yourself. So let's say, for example, you give out few items to influencers to help you, to kind of get to know more about your product. That is supposed to be indicated like as a cash in your balance sheet because that product you're giving out, you're supposed to monetize it. You're supposed to be able to indicate it. It's a liquidity. You're supposed to liquidify it in terms of the cash that you're using. To even further break this down, every single steps that you take regarding your business, that you spend time and money, you have to be able to detail this financially. And I see a lot of that lacking in entrepreneurs' financial statement. I mean, based on my experience and interaction. So please ensure that you are monitoring your cash inflow and outflows. And it is also a required financial statement for us. The document must include the preparer's full professional name and contact details, obviously. Yeah, let's move forward. Now, your personal net worth statement, which I indicated previously, is a personal net worth statement derived from deducting liabilities from assets. It's a component in our comprehensive evaluation process. While we consistently consider personal guarantees, it is important to note that they may not be the decisive factor in our financial decision. So what we're trying to say here is that in as much as you are going to detail all of your personal net worth statement, we take it into high consideration, but it is important for you to note that it is not the only thing that we're looking forward to in making a final decision regarding funding. The standard form is accessible on the FACE platform, and applicants must download it, complete all sections, print, provide wet signatures, scan the document, and then upload it to the same platform in PDF format. The only way you'll be able to understand this fully after my explanation for those that will be applying, once you see this, then you'll understand this is what I'm talking about. So when you go on the platform, you're going to see the standard form. You will have to download it. You have to complete all of the sections. You'll print it. You provide your signature. You scan the document and then upload it back into the system. That's what this is talking about. And then your corporations, which might be either limited or INC, you have to indicate your full tax return, business T2, and notice of assessment. And as a sole traders and owner of corporations, full tax return, business T1, and notice of assessment. I know someone is thinking, well, I'm a startup. Maybe your business, hasn't paid tax yet. We'll take your personal tax information into consideration in that effect. And it depends if during that period, the tax timing, hasn't progressed. Analysis of loan applications generally include quantitative analysis, qualitative analysis, and credit history analysis. Now, do the applicant's non-financial indicator increase the chances of success? Other industry consideration, business background, business lifecycle, industry experience of management team. Now, what this is telling us is that these are things that are included in making sure that, the decisions are being made regarding your funding. So the quantitative analysis includes business background, the life cycle of your business, and the experience, even if it is just you for most startup, the experience that you have in this business, whether you have it or not. And I don't want you to say, oh, I don't have much, so I'm not going to apply, but we're just letting you know the things that we're considering generally. And then the qualitative analysis is sufficiency of borrowers' cash flow to service the loan. Borrowers' willingness to share the risk, liquidity, and leverage ratio assessment. What is also telling us when it comes to the qualitative analysis, business might not be able to even generate profit. What you, at the beginning as a startup, what you're going to be looking forward to is to even break even. And at that period, as a result of that considerations, what are the cash flow to service the loan to make sure that it's not a burden for you? And in the credit history analysis, understanding the contributing elements and how has the applicant honored historical loan obligations. That's the reason why we're also asking for credit history, right? Like any funding program would do. Now, key takeaways here. If you do not remember everything I've spoke about, one thing I want you to take away is the fact that we are committed to empowering Black entrepreneurs across Canada. The loan amount may vary based on additional costs, business size, and more. And eligible business, which includes startups and existing business with specific criteria for each. You need to provide your essential documents, which includes business plan, financial statements, tax return, and personal worth declaration. They are required for the loan, and they're important for you as well as a business owner. The loan application process involves thorough review and assessment with a focus on supporting successful applicants and providing important information to clients referred to ecosystem. Now, the good thing about this is that just in case you're not loan ready yet, perhaps you apply and you do not have all of the requirements or you do not meet up to these requirements, we're going to get back to you and we can even refer you to our ecosystem who will also help you or support you in ensuring we say loan ready, but what they do is actually help you to be loan ready by ensuring that they support you in provision of this documentation and also support you to even know more about what you ought to provide to be loan ready. Now, where do you find useful resources like I indicated previously, especially when it comes to this required documentations? There are several institutions that provide resources to businesses to help in putting together a business plan. In this case, you can even visit TD Bank website. Among so many websites is to see all available resources. And this is the link. I am going to be dropping it in the chat room later on. So when you go on that site, you'll be able to see cash flow calculator. You'll be able to see business checklist or even a business plan template, a loan calculator, startup cost, and profit and increase calculator. And feel free to use this to kind of all of these tools and resources to support you in providing the documentations that are required of you. It may sound detailed, if you haven't done this before, but trust me, I can assure you that you have all of the resources and tools online to be able to prepare this. I think even in a day or two, if you have the informations ready, you can input those things into those tools and resources and be able to provide this requirement. And yes, we have our Entrepreneur Hub. It's on Facebook. You can just scan this QR code. So it's backed by Face Coalition, and it's one of our initiatives in making sure that we empower Black entrepreneurs across Canada. So you can join the group. You can use it to connect, cultivate, and collaborate with other entrepreneurs, and even for promotional purpose. And we have our own knowledge center. This is one of my favorite, and it's designed to equip entrepreneurs with strategic partnerships, knowledge, and resources to achieve economic empowerment and sources. I have used this knowledge center personally. I've watched most of the videos and I've learned so much. Even if you know a lot about all of these things I've been mentioning, like credit score, financial statements, and all of that. When you watch the video, it even equips you more. So I urge you to take an opportunity of this. You can scan this QR code right now and just go and learn more about even putting a business plan together. And we even have our podcast. It's amazing and inspiring to listen to Black business owners. Sometimes when you listen to them, it kind of pushes you and inspire you to go forward with your plans, right? So make use of our knowledge center. And yes, another opportunity for you, every single one of you here, is the Black Business Directory. And we have over 8,000 Black-owned businesses that are getting the visibility they deserve. And it's free of charge. So if you're going to get on most of the business directory around here, you have to be paying a specific amount. Some charge $50 per month, $20, and even more. But we're saying this is free for you if you're a Black entrepreneur. And all you need to do is go on the site, sign up, go to www.facecoalition.com, sign up. When you sign up, it doesn't mean that you're applying for a loan. You're literally just signing up to be part of the Face community on the site. And then you put the information of your business on the Black Business Directory. And I also want to encourage you to utilize this directory for services, for Black services. So feel free to Sorry about that, guys. So feel free to go there. I do that myself. If I need any service, I just go on the directory to check who is that Black business owner that is offering that service beside me. This is a way of supporting Black business. So yeah, this is free of charge and make use of this. And I spoke about the podcast. We have season 4 here already. I stand to be corrected, Bernice. But I know that we do have a TOC podcast right now. It's so inspiring. Feel free to hear from the voices, marginalized Canadians that are secretly building our nation. Thank you so much. And I am really looking forward to your questions right now.